is Journey with Camp Lantern Creek, and for today's activity I'm going to show y'all how to make a no soap pillow. So you do need a couple supplies today. So the first one is these fabric scissors, okay? The second one is an old blanket that you have around your house, and the third one is pretty much filling to stuff your pillow. So I bought this one at Walmart. It was only about $3, okay? Or if you don't want to go to the store, you could also just find an old pillow you have at home and use it for stuffing, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and get started, okay? The one thing I do want to put out there is you have to be mindful of how much stuffing or the size of your pillow that you're using, because you don't want to have like a pillow cover this size and your pillow or stuffing is only enough for this big of a pillow, okay? So for me, since I am going to be using this much polyfill, I'm going to just make a small little pillow. I'm not going to use it all. So what I'm going to do is fold it in half, the pillow, and then with this technique we're using, it is going to shrink about 6 inches. So let's say that you want your pillow to be the size of this square. Make sure you cut an additional 6 inches on both sides, okay? So you don't have to measure anything, and you don't have to cut straight or anything, because the technique we are going to use, you can kind of hide it, if that makes any sense, okay? So I'm going to start cutting my pillow, and it doesn't have to be perfect, guys. You can either try again if you really don't like it, or you could just work with it, okay? So I'm going to start cutting it. And again, I want you to use fabric scissors only because it is way easier to cut through than regular scissors. And then again, if your pattern is easier to kind of identify, like mine's chevron pattern, so it's a bit harder, but if you have like a striped one, it'd be way easier for you to cut it because you just have to follow the stripes. So you just want to also keep that in mind, okay? So I already cut one side of it. Okay, so I cut one side of it, and the other side is already the edge, so all I'm gonna do is cut off the other side to make a square, okay? Okay, so this is my result, and you always want to keep it folded, okay? So now I also forgot one edge, so I'm going to cut the other edge. Since you did have to fold it before you even started cutting, you have this one edge, so I'm going to cut through that. And this one should be really fast, just because it's cut in half, so it should be somewhat even. Okay, so there you have it. And now what you're going to do is cut off a square in all 4 of the edges, okay? So this is my first edge, and let me show you. Okay, and I cut off a little square, okay? This is how much I cut off, okay? And the more the fabric is, the bigger the square you want to cut off, okay? So if you're doing it like for a pillow this size, your fabric isn't going to be as big as it, so you're going to want to do a smaller square, okay? So I'm going to cut off the other 3 sides as well. Okay, and that is going to be it for that. So now this is pretty much the whole concept of the pillow. So since you aren't sewing it, what you're going to do is just cut about 1 inch lines. So like here's the square, right? The imaginary square. So what you're gonna do is grab your scissors and cut to the edge of the square. Okay, so you're just gonna cut like this every inch until you get to the other side, okay? And it is a little bit time consuming, but if you have nothing to do throughout the day, this is a really fun activity. And then at the end you get a new pillow, so it's kind of worth it. Okay. And again, doesn't have to be completely perfect, because this technique does let you hide a lot of mistakes, which I'm very thankful for. Okay, so I'm already getting to my edge. Okay, so now you're gonna have a bunch of ruffles. That's what I like to call them. So what you're going to do is you're gonna match them up. Since it is two sides of the blanket, you're gonna match them up and you're gonna tie them. So these are the first cuts of this side. So I am just gonna tie them, and I'm going to double knot it just so it could stay tied. But again, the double knot is completely optional, okay? So that one I just tied it individually, and it can get a little bit confusing, but okay. So what you're gonna do is just tie all of it till you get to the end, okay? And make sure they are the correct pairs, because then you're gonna have a line that's missing its pair. And I know a lot of people, they also cut the whole pillow, but then I feel like that overwhelms me. So I only like to do, I like to take it slowly and only one side at a time, okay? And then here and there, I'll throw in a double knot just because I do want it to stay secured and tied. And I don't want the stuffing to fail. But then if you're using a pillow, then one knot should be enough, because you're not gonna have to worry about the stuffing coming out, okay? So once you get the hang of it, you will go faster. I just did this one. And next I'm probably going to do this side and the bottom, and I am going to leave this side open so I have a chance to fill my pillow, okay? Okay, so I am going to check up on you after I am done with my other two sides. Okay, everybody, so I just finished tying my third side. Okay, as y'all can see, this is the only side I have left. So it took me about 5 minutes to do the rest of it. So this is the part of the video where if you are using an old pillow, this is the time where you would stuff it carefully. Okay, just make sure that none of your ties come apart, okay? And then you just start cutting the edge and then tying it, okay? But if you are using the polyfill, you are going to do about half of the side you're gonna cut and tie half of the side, and then with this part of the side you would stuff it carefully, okay? Just because if you stuff it beforehand, then you're going to struggle by tying and knotting, okay? So I'm going to start doing my half. So you can see I have this much left. I tied the other half, and I'm going to open up my polyfill carefully, please. And I am going to begin to stuff it. So I'm just going to grab a little bit and carefully put it all the way to the edge of the pillow, okay? Okay, so now you should have your pillow completely stuffed. And now you're just going to finish off cutting and knotting, okay? And this is the part where you want to be extremely careful. My advice to y'all would be to start double knotting everything just so the polyfill won't fall out, okay? And then if you do see a couple of knots coming apart, then this is the time where you would want to start double knotting or retying and then double knotting each one, okay? So we're just gonna start tying, okay? Okay everyone, so once you are done tying your pillow, that is it. We are done with this video. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it. Again, you don't have to do this alone. You could do it with some siblings, with your parents, with some friends. And it's just something to do indoors and have fun during the summer, okay? So that is it for today. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.